79 attempts, 297 raid teams, and 315,850 deaths. These are the results of failed attempts to conquer the 48th floor of the Tower of Trials. After a string of defeats, fewer than 100 people remained in the chat, discussing the impending end of the world. An unknown individual entered the Red Dragon dungeon on the 48th floor, reigniting interest among viewers, which led to a sharp increase in their numbers to 7,588. The spectators noticed an obsidian dagger with a purple hue, symbolizing a high-level relic that sparked hope among all. The contender faced the dragon Destia, who embodied overwhelming power and arrogance, but was taken aback by the player's skills. The contender combined the skills Hellfire and Black Tears, creating a new powerful spell, Breath of the Void Dragon Etherian, which terrified Destia. In the finale, the young man revealed his name, Kun Jin-hyuk, the only player to ever reach the summit of the tower. Feeling a headache, Jin-hyuk stood up and drank a liter of icy water, which helped him regain his focus. The hero rushed to turn on his computer to edit and upload the video before anyone else could. During a live stream on a popular channel, Jin-hyuk witnessed the tower, previously existing only in the game, manifesting in the real world. Game events became reality, and humanity was given 90 days to conquer the tower or face extinction. Determined not to waste time, Jin-hyuk headed to Central City, where people like him gathered to confront this new reality. In the basement of a shopping center stood the Mangrove Tree of Greed, from which a limited number of valuable fruits could be harvested to enhance character attributes. Jin-hyuk encountered an old acquaintance, Lee Jong-soo, who had previously deceived him and other players by forging unfair contracts. After all the fruits from the tree were gathered, a struggle for the main prize, a hidden treasure, began. Lee Jong-soo betrayed Jin-hyuk in an attempt to claim it for himself. The tree unleashed its trunks, and Lee Jong-soo's actions had unexpected consequences. Jin-hyuk discovered the tree's weakness, the core within its trunk, and struck it using his skills. The tree retaliated with vines and released blue, sleep-inducing butterflies. But Jin-hyuk successfully dodged and defeated the tree. Jin-hyuk became the first person to conquer the Mangrove Tree of Greed, and his achievement was displayed in the game's Hall of Fame. He received the item Heart of the Tree, which significantly boosted his attributes, plus 12 to stats. He remained incognito, concealing his name and face, even though the system marked him as an anonymous victor. The release of the video showcasing Jin-hyuk's victory sparked a whirlwind of reactions among players. Many commented on his incredible skill and luck, while others offered him contracts and collaborations. However, Jin-hyuk chose to ignore these offers as money was no longer important to him. Jin-hyuk planned to visit the National Museum of Korea, home to magical relics. Knowing it would become a popular destination for many, he prepared for the journey, purchasing necessary items at the store before nightfall. The world around Jin-hyuk was in chaos due to the events surrounding the Tower of Trials. The government struggled to cope, as supernatural phenomena defied ordinary logic. Jin-hyuk used his blood to create a barrier that distorted space and muffled sounds, helping him evade the police. He discovered the corpse of a guard, riddled with wounds from various weapons, realizing that others had already infiltrated the museum in search of the ancient map of Tadoyong-jido, which could provide crucial information about the Tower of Trials. Within the museum, a conflict erupted among various awakened individuals. Oh Hyung-seok demonstrated his petrification ability, while Min Jong-woo used fire magic to combat him. Jin-hyuk intervened, easily deflecting Anubis' spear, leaving the onlookers astonished. Lee Yuri summoned 5 manifestations of Anubis using the relics she had stolen, but Jin-hyuk surpassed her by conjuring a magical tiger, showcasing his power and mastery of magic. Utilizing the tiger's strength, Jin-hyuk obliterated his opponents, including jackals and other foes. Yuri and Jin-hyuk explored the museum for valuable artifacts like the Mask of Tutankhamun and the Tadoyong-jido map. Min Jong-woo struggled to breach a magical barrier that impeded their progress. Jin-hyuk discovered various relics and combined them to forge a new powerful artifact, the Eye of Truth, which allowed him to see through deception. He successfully copied the skill Fire Element from Min Jong-woo, enhancing his magical abilities. Min Jong-woo found himself exhausted and panicking as Jin-hyuk exploited his predicament. Demonstrating his strategic prowess, Jin-hyuk ignited the map to eliminate a potential threat and gain the upper hand. The relationships between characters, particularly between Jin-hyuk and Yuri, become increasingly complex. highlighting the dynamics of their interactions and conflicts. Min Jong-woo threatens Jin Hyuk, but Jin calmly explains that he burned the map to eliminate unnecessary information, shocking Min Jong-woo. Jin Hyuk asserts that Min Jong-woo must follow his lead, demonstrating his authority in the situation. When Jin Hyuk activates the fire element skill, fear grips Min Jong-woo as he realizes Jin Hyuk's abilities far surpass his own. Jin Hyuk deliberately refrains from revealing his true strength at the outset, intending to use it strategically to compel Min Jong-woo's obedience. After their confrontation, Jin Hyuk returns home, contemplating the need to stay in top shape and prepare for the challenges ahead. He checks his attributes and skills, realizing he has acquired new, unique abilities. Determined to gather as many unique skills as possible, he prepares for the upcoming trials. On his way to a restaurant, he comes across news about the Tower of Trials, indicating rapid changes in the world, including the government's establishment of the Awakened Association. The government expresses interest in him as a strong player, offering employment and support, which raises his suspicions. Jin Hyuk recognizes that he has become the focus of both the government and other players, increasing his resolve to act cautiously and strategically. He plans to prepare for the opening of the Tower of Trials, considering his options to fully utilize his skills. Jin Hyuk stands before the Tower of Trials, a mysterious structure that draws countless players eager to conquer it. At 7:00 p.m., the tower opens, and players rush inside, anticipating new opportunities. Jin Hyuk experiences a mix of excitement and dread, realizing that death in the game would be permanent. Players receive 100 coins upon entry, which can be used within the tower. Additionally, a system for uploading videos of their achievements creates a connection between players inside and viewers outside. Despite the complexity, Jin Hyuk decides to venture into the Labyrinth maze. He recalls his past experience where he failed to progress beyond the 30th floor. Aware that the maze will pose a formidable challenge, he intends to use it as a training ground for future battles, understanding the importance of acting differently from other players. Several newcomers are watching Jin Hyuk, discussing his actions and speculating that he opened the maze without a key, piquing their curiosity and desire to enter. Park Hana, one of the newcomers, attempts to connect with Jin Hyuk. However, he uses his Eye of Truth skill to detect that she is lying about her intentions. Park Hana and her group harbor ulterior motives, possibly aiming to exploit Jin Hyuk or seize his discoveries, creating tension and anticipation of conflict. Jin Hyuk decides to assess Park Hana's condition, a 22-year-old girl with a unique ability called Contact, which instills a sense of familiarity and trust in others. Despite her low combat stats, she possesses basic skills. He aims to leverage Park Hana's ability for his own goals, including taming a creature within the maze. The conditions for copying her ability require them to spend 240 hours together. Park Hana proposes they team up to navigate the maze, sharing the risks. Jin Hyuk perceives this with skepticism, suspecting that others may betray him. The group enters the maze, where Jin Hyuk notices unusual glowing moths. The atmosphere inside the maze feels tense and ominous. Suddenly, the maze begins to shift, inducing panic among the group members. The abilities they relied on become ineffective following the maze's transformation. Jin Hyuk encounters Jong Min-guk, who attempts to attack him. Jin Hyuk senses something approaching them in the maze, heightening the atmosphere of threat. The group encounters a minotaur within the maze, resulting in the death of one of their members, Jong Moon-guk, from a fatal axe strike. The Minotaur is depicted as a mythical creature with a human body and a bull's head, evoking horror and tension. The protagonist, Jin Hyuk, utilizes his evasion skills to dodge the Minotaur's attacks, gaining stat points that provide him an advantage in combat. Jin Hyuk possesses the Breach skill, which allows him to reduce the level gap with stronger opponents, an essential element in his character development. While the other group members are in a state of panic, unsure of how to deal with the threat, Jin Hyuk acts decisively and confidently. One character, Do Kwon-woo, falls victim to the Minotaur, underscoring the risks and dangers of their situation. Jin Hyuk suggests that the other team members join him to earn stat points, despite their fear and doubts. He plans to use the coins he earns to purchase necessary items and upgrade his gear, showcasing his determination. As he activates the exchange, Jin Hyuk begins searching for items that will aid him in his journey, demonstrating his focused approach. During his search, he discovers an unfinished Wheel of Fortune, which can boost luck for 10 minutes, but has a limited range. This relic is associated with the goddess of fortune, Fortuna. After activating the wheel, he receives maximum luck, enabling him to successfully use enhancement scrolls on his weapon, the Old Dagger. The luck increases his chances for successful upgrades. Jin Hyuk methodically uses 10 enhancement scrolls, resulting in his dagger reaching a +10 level. He becomes the first player on the Korean server to successfully create an item with maximum enhancement, earning coins and achievements in the process. After his success, Jin Hyuk reviews videos from other players, particularly focusing on a player named Hamus, who is also trying to gain viewer attention. Hamus resorts to deceit to boost his views, but soon realizes that Jin Hyuk's video showcasing his achievement has become more popular than his own. In a panic, Hamus understands that his accomplishments have been overshadowed, prompting him to seek the culprit, knowing that each new achievement by Jin Hyuk diminishes his own chances of success. With his luck and experience, Jin Hyuk emerges as a formidable competitor, capable of overcoming the Tower of Trials and attracting viewers with his extraordinary achievements. 10 days have passed since the main characters entered the maze. Due to traps, hunger, and exhaustion, the group of 7 has dwindled to 3: Jin Hyuk, Park Hana, and Chang Sol-sik. Chang Sol-sik and Park Hana discuss the dire situation, expressing that if things don't change, they will perish. Their predecessors, Lee Hae-min and Chang Mina, died while being used as bait for the Minotaur. Park Hana contacts the Black Crow Guild, attempting to gather information about Jin Hyuk, but they have no records of his past. Determined to eliminate Jin Hyuk, Park Hana decides to poison him by adding toxin to his food. She and Chang Sol-sik collect moss and mushrooms for the plan. As Jin Hyuk eats, he detects the poison, and despite Park Hana's attempts to conceal it, he is prepared for such a turn of events. Tragically, Chang Sol-sik succumbs to the poison. Jin Hyuk explains that he has been closely observing Park Hana's actions, realizing something was amiss, which is why he didn't trust the food. He mentions the streaming rules, noting that all actions are being recorded. Viewers in the stream begin leaving the chat, realizing that Jin Hyuk is aware of Park Hana's plans. In despair, Park Hana understands that her scheme has failed and that Jin Hyuk has survived. Conversely, Jin Hyuk takes control of the situation, leveraging his knowledge to manipulate events. 10 viewers are caught cheating and will be barred from watching videos for a month, facing penalties that include bodily harm and potential paralysis. Feeling fear and doubt, Park Hana realizes that her plan might be exposed by Jin Hyuk. She acknowledges that he is an experienced player, which heightens her anxiety. Jin Hyuk successfully copies the unique ability Contact, allowing him to combine abilities and create new skills such as Soul Stigma. As Jin Hyuk faces the Minotaur, he activates his unique skill Berserk, enhancing his strength and size. Park Hana, fearful, doubts Jin Hyuk's ability to handle the creature. Using his newly acquired skills and experience, Jin Hyuk confronts the Minotaur, combining fire attacks with physical strikes to weaken the foe. After accomplishing his goals, Jin Hyuk grows less interested in assisting Park Hana. He adopts a cold and distant demeanor, instilling fear and concern in her. The text explores the dynamics of power and control through unique abilities that can dominate others' wills, particularly through the interactions between Jin Hyuk and Park Hana. As the battle with the Minotaur intensifies, Jin Hyuk feels the mounting tension, preparing for decisive actions, creating intrigue and anticipation for the next developments. In the heat of the fight, Jin Hyuk wields both his dagger and an axe. The Minotaur, having activated a level 10 skill, proves to be a strong opponent. Despite this, Jin Hyuk displays confidence and even smiles, shocking Park Hana. He employs his skills to deal damage to the Minotaur, including launching a fireball that inflicts serious harm. Upon victory, Jin Hyuk receives 57 stat points, bringing him closer to his goal of 100 points. Watching the battle unfold, Park Hana feels fear, but realizes that Jin Hyuk can manage without the guild's assistance. In a surprising turn, Jin Hyuk invites Park Hana to become an intern on his team. Overjoyed, she accepts the offer, recognizing this as her chance. Park Hana mentions her unique ability, Contact, which fosters closeness among people, but Jin Hyuk reveals that he already possesses a similar ability. She shares that her brother in China can acquire the Brahma Ring, a valuable and hard-to-obtain item. Jin Hyuk is skeptical about the ease of obtaining this ring, but decides that she could be of assistance. Rather than establishing a formal contract, Jin Hyuk utilizes his skill Soul Stigma to mark Park Hana, ensuring her loyalty. As they near the conclusion of their arduous journey, Park Hana is filled with joy at the prospect of leaving the maze behind. Players Kang Jin-hyuk and Park Hana successfully clear the maze on the first floor, making headlines in the Hall of Fame. Each player receives 5,000 coins, which Park Hana reluctantly hands over to Jin-hyuk. She reflects on the hardships endured during their time in the labyrinth, and despite her tears of joy, she realizes that future challenges with Jin-hyuk will not be easy. Jin-hyuk demands that Park Hana complete his tasks within strict deadlines, underscoring his authoritative demeanor. In the news, discussions arise about a guild planning to confront a boss on the third floor, heightening interest in the game's events. However, players risk facing insurmountable challenges on higher floors without adequate skills. Jin-hyuk reaches out to Mr. Baldhead to arrange a personal meeting regarding information about the Tower of Trials. When they meet, Jin-hyuk encounters Mr. Baldhead and Flame Fist, whose descriptions add humor and intrigue to their characters. Reflecting on his past, Jin-hyuk recalls his nickname Captain Timo, highlighting his evolution over time. The narrative introduces new characters. Lee Tae-min, a mechanical engineering student, is portrayed as an exceptional individual, excelling in academics and gaming. Jin-hyuk uses his ability Eye of Truth to assess Lee's stats and unique skills, including King of Machines, which allows him to control heavy machinery. Yu Young-hwa, the granddaughter of the legendary taekwondo master Yu Chun-yeon, is introduced as a seasoned fighter. Jin-hyuk analyzes her abilities, noting her unique skill, Taekwondo Master, enabling her to defeat larger foes with her combat skills. Lee Tae-min and Yu Young-hwa meet Jin-hyuk in real life for the first time. They discuss Jin-hyuk's past as a streamer on Paprika TV and his decision to step away from that world. The group explores the state of the gaming world, including the formation of guilds, coin factories, and players striving for power. Yu Young-hwa brings up the verification system established by the Awakening Association, which restricts access to the tower for only vetted players. Jin-hyuk, Lee Tae-min, and Yu Young-hwa arrive at the headquarters of the Awakening Association, located in an enormous 150-story skyscraper that impresses with its scale. They engage in discussions regarding the tests related to the tower. Lee Tae-min suggests forming a guild with the three of them to tackle the challenges in the tower more effectively. However, Jin-hyuk declines, preferring to operate solo, explaining that he believes he will be more efficient on his own. The group gets ready for the ranking test, which will determine their future prospects within the tower. The area is bustling with aspiring players aiming for top guilds, while reporters actively cover the event. Notable figures arrive at the association, including Park Hana, the Labyrinth survivor, and her brother Park Ha-jin, creating a stir among attendees and journalists. Jin-hyuk finds himself in a confrontation with Park Ha-jin, who demands that Jin-hyuk clear his path. Jin-hyuk responds sarcastically, inciting irritation and aggression from Park Ha-jin, who draws his sword, preparing for a fight. Nevertheless, Jin-hyuk remains calm, continuing to provoke him. Utilizing Eye of Truth, Jin-hyuk examines Park Ha-jin's skills, discovering that Death Strike and shallow breathing could potentially be useful to him. Jin-hyuk unexpectedly attacks Park Ha-jin, using a water bottle as a distraction. Caught off guard, Ha-jin suffers a thigh injury, incapacitating him. While most spectators attribute Jin-hyuk's success to luck, Lee Tae-min and other members of the Fathers of Combat Guild recognize that his actions were calculated and precise. After his successful strike against Park Ha-jin, Jin-hyuk faces his defender, Kim Gi-tae, whose level is significantly higher. However, Jin-hyuk's Eye of Truth fails to activate due to the level disparity. Provoking Kim Gi-tae, Jin-hyuk mentions issues with the supply of Korean ginseng and offers a deal, claiming to know how to resolve the side effects associated with it. Kim Gi-tae activates his skill Prison and attempts to discern how Jin-hyuk possesses such information. In response, Jin-hyuk proposes an exchange of knowledge in return for his safety. Demonstrating his strength, Jin-hyuk destroys Kim Gi-tae's weapon, making it clear that the latter stands no chance in a direct confrontation. This display underscores Jin-hyuk's control over the situation. In a climactic moment, Jin-hyuk warns that one wrong decision could lead to the annihilation of the Fathers of Combat Guild, emphasizing the seriousness of his intentions and his superiority. Despite being only level 1, Jin-hyuk declares himself ready to confront an entire guild. This statement astonishes and unsettles Kim Gi-tae, as higher-ranked members of the guild possess significantly more strength. Jin Hyuk proposes a deal: information about Mandragora routes in exchange for access to 10 exclusive dungeons belonging to the Fathers of Combat. This proposition leaves Kim Gi-tae puzzled, as he must discuss it with the guild leadership. Two players supporting Jin Hyuk step into the conflict, siding with him against the press and other guilds, demonstrating his growing influence. After the conflict resolution, the testing of participants resumes. The examiner conjures a mid-level magical stone, which Jin Hyuk effortlessly shatters using magic with his dagger and the ability. Jin Hyuk achieves an astounding score of 20,895, double the required amount for an S rank. The examiner is astounded by his performance, as no one has ever shattered a magical stone before. Using his magical mark as leverage, Jin Hyuk convinces the examiner to keep his true rank secret for a week, ensuring his advantage remains undisclosed. Determined, Jin Hyuk decides to venture into the Corridor of the Fallen, the most challenging dungeon on the first floor, which has remained unconquered for 11 years. Despite his S rank, Jin Hyuk presents results that ostensibly align with an F rank, baffling his companions. He fabricates a story about being allowed to retake the test in a week. Jin Hyuk connects to a forum seeking a team to navigate the ruins. He joins a raid as an F-rank participant, although his true objectives remain hidden. Joining a group of porters, the raid commences. Jin Hyuk receives a mission involving the defeat of a boss monster and the retrieval of a throne, promising relics as a reward. Unexpectedly, he is notified that he will receive a special reward as the first conqueror of the tower, a turn of events he did not anticipate. After a prolonged wait, Jin Hyuk activates the system and gains a unique ability called Monopolization, which enhances his chances of acquiring the top-tier rewards, as well as the stat Adaptability and additional luck points. This event marks a significant turning point in his character development. Realizing the uniqueness of his reward, Jin Hyuk contrasts his experience with that of other participants, who are focused on the material gains from the raid. Meanwhile, the anger of the guildmaster of the Black Raven, Shin Gun-soo, reveals another aspect of the world: the brutality and violence in player-guild relationships. As Jin Hyuk embarks on the raid as part of the porter team, after 7 hours of travel, the group of porters, including Jin Hyuk, arrives at the Corridor of the Fallen, one of the most challenging ruins in the Tower of Trials. During the chaos, Jin Hyuk encounters Teresa, one of Europe's most renowned players. He realizes that she possesses unique skills, making her a prime target for ability copying. Activating Eye of Truth, he learns that in order to copy one of her skills, he would need to save her life. Jin Hyuk understands that Teresa is in the ruins to complete a profession quest, explaining her presence on the lower floor of the tower. He contemplates how to engineer a situation where he can rescue Teresa and thus gain her unique ability. As the group explores, they stumble upon corpses and trigger the awakening of the ruins' security system, the Sleeping Bomb, which initiates a 10-minute countdown until the Guardians fully awaken. Despite the imminent danger of awakening the Guardians, Song Jong-hwa makes a risky decision to continue the raid, banking on Teresa's prowess as the best fighter against the undead. The team encounters Dolahan, formidable monsters standing 2.5 meters tall, proving to be a significant challenge. The battle begins, resulting in severe losses among the raid participants, many of whom are ill-prepared for such a powerful attack. As the raid leader, Song Jong-hwa aims not only to complete the mission, but also to create sensational video content to garner views. To achieve this, he is willing to sacrifice members for the sake of drama. Observing the fight, Jin Hyuk decides to intervene. With ease, he dispatches several Dullahan using his combat skills and magic, impressing those watching, particularly Kim So-mi, who is astonished by his strength and skill. Jin Hyuk's unexpected prowess inspires admiration and fear among the remaining raid members. After clearing the front lines, Kim So-mi comes to assist from the rear and engages Jin Hyuk in conversation, expressing doubts about his strength. She pretends to search for the sacred message of Apostle John, but Jin Hyuk, utilizing his abilities, uncovers the truth. She is actually looking for the message of Apostle Peter. Jin Hyuk proposes to Teresa that they team up, as her current group is doomed to fail. He reveals his knowledge of how to navigate the traps and offers her a deal. In exchange for her assistance, he seeks rare artifacts, the Frozen Tear and the Magic Soul Pill. Teresa's suggestion to separate from the main team creates conflict with Song Jong-hwa, But ultimately, she is granted permission to act independently, bringing Jin Hyuk, the porter, along. To convince the team of his need to accompany Teresa, Jin Hyuk fabricates a story about their childhood friendship, claiming her family requires assistance, which elicits sympathy from the others. Jin Hyuk and Teresa separate from the group and venture into the ruins, where dangerous monsters await. Before the battle commences, a red status window appears before them, signaling an unexpected turn of events. Jin Hyuk receives a message from the Lord of the Corridor of Distortion, raising questions. This occurrence is significant, as the Lord typically shows no interest in players. Teresa distracts the undead, while Jin Hyuk undertakes the more stealthy and perilous tasks, avoiding level-ups and collecting all items. Teresa harnesses her magic to enhance her abilities and begins her fight against the undead. She effortlessly defeats regular monsters due to her powerful armor and shield. Jin Hyuk confronts a Lich, a serious opponent wielding Fifth Circle destructive magic. Using his speed and skills, Jin Hyuk successfully defeats the Lich and its accompanying Dullahan. Jin Hyuk encounters Jong Yu-son, who has been pursuing him in the game, and is now attempting to continue this pursuit in real life. Both characters engage in battle, and Jin Hyuk realizes that Jong Yu-son is extremely powerful, but remains confident in his abilities. The characteristics of Jong Yu-song are presented, his abilities and his unique ability, Sword Song. This emphasizes his strength and status as a dangerous opponent. Jong Yu-song activates several powerful skills, such as battlefield selection and duel, which give him an advantage on the battlefield. Jin Hyuk activates the ability to copy Jong Yu-song's unique skills. This becomes a turning point. He copies Sword Song, which gives him the opportunity to fight on equal terms. Jong Yu-song uses sword energy to conclude the fight, but Jin Hyuk applies the strategy of merging Sword Song and the Demon Soul Pearl, which leads to the emergence of a new unique ability, Graveyard of Swords. In the end, Jin Hyuk demonstrates overwhelming power by activating the Graveyard of Swords, which causes fear and confusion in Jong Yu-song, changing the dynamics of the fight in favor of Jin Hyuk. Jong Yu-song faces Jin Hyuk in battle, reliving defeat once again despite his powerful attack, Sword Dance, Chasing Souls. This reflects his inner conflict. Despite training, he cannot defeat Jin Hyuk. Jin Hyuk demonstrates superiority. He avoids Jong Yu-song's attacks and makes sarcastic remarks about fighting stronger opponents. Jong Yu-song feels deep frustration and helplessness. The difference between Jin Hyuk and Jong Yu-song lies in their approach to the world, not just in magic or skills. Jin Hyuk uses his powers more strategically, leading to his victory. Jin Hyuk decides not to kill Jong Yu-song, but instead uses the skill Contact to reduce hostility. He sees Jong Yu-song as a valuable ally for future battles. Strange events in the ruins. The raid group encounters a giant golem and a vampire named Belus. Belus offers the group a choice. Either they will obediently follow him, or many of them will die. Belus hints at the presence of the true master of the ruins, adding tension and fear, as this is one of the most powerful beings in the Tower of Trials. Song Chonhua dismisses Belus, believing that his level is not high enough to be a threat. However, Belus demonstrates that level does not always determine power. Belus uses powerful magic, activating blood bonds, and instantly absorbs the tanks, showing how powerful he is. Jin Hyuk receives an invitation from the Master of the Abode, opening a new storyline and a potential encounter with an even more powerful enemy. Teresa is forced to make a choice, to pay Jin Hyuk to fight on her side, although the stakes are very high. Jin Hyuk and Teresa stand before a huge door with ancient patterns, behind which an incredible magical energy can be felt. She is worried about how they will be able to defeat an enemy with such powerful magic. Jin Hyuk reassures her, saying that strength is not the main thing in battle. Tactics and strategy are important. Inside a hall of gold, before the throne, they are met by Alice, a beautiful but deadly vampire with long silver hair and red eyes. She holds captives but has not yet touched them. Jin Hyuk offers Alice freedom in exchange for his blood. This provokes a sharp reaction from the vampires, for whom freedom is a lost value. He uses his mask and knowledge of the tower to convince Alice that he belongs to the demonic people, traitors to humanity cooperating with monsters. She asks him to prove his loyalty by killing his companions. Jin Hyuk agrees, shocking Teresa, inflicting a fatal wound on her which confirms his alliance with Alice. He kills one of the captives, continuing to follow his plan to gain the vampire's trust. Jin Hyuk convinces the vampire Alice to seal her soul in a ring using a unique spell. Alice accepts this proposal despite her doubts, hoping to take advantage of the opportunity for freedom. Jin Hyuk successfully conducts the ritual, sealing Alice's soul in the ring. She expresses her satisfaction, and Jin Hyuk realizes that his plan has worked perfectly. Teresa, with the help of her ability Blessing of the Stars, is revived and assists Jin Hyuk in the battle by activating her magic and freeing the captives. At the climactic moment, vampires attack the humans with blood magic. However, their assault is halted by an unknown masked individual using a powerful fire barrier. After a powerful attack, Belus is shocked that Jin Hyuk easily blocked it, realizing that their skills counter each other. From his perspective, the situation worsened after sealing Alice, depriving Belus of any chance of victory. Belus activates Dark Fury and prepares for close combat with Jin Hyuk, using a vampire rapier filled with pure chi energy. Jin Hyuk wipes out the entire vampire clan, and Song Chon-hwa is shocked by what he sees. He realizes that Jin Hyuk is a unique and extremely powerful individual. He tries to claim the Staff of Merlin, but Jin Hyuk allows him to do so, knowing that the relic is cursed. Song Chon-hwa suffers a burn and faces the curse, losing all his hair. After all the events, she expresses her gratitude that Jin Hyuk saved her life. This gives Jin Hyuk the opportunity to copy her unique ability, Blessing of the Stars, which grants him access to divine power and the ability to resurrect after a fatal wound. Jin Hyuk and his team complete the raid on the ruins, which causes astonishment and interest among reporters and guilds. But in reality, Jin Hyuk did all the work alone, which Teresa confirms on camera.